both can't believe something and can believe it at the same time. That's what happened to me when I saw the comments from Mystics co-owner Sheila Johnson about Caitlin Clark on CNN. If you didn't see them, she essentially said, or she didn't essentially say, she said, why can't you put the whole WNBA on the cover, not Caitlin?
Behind the bright lights of the WNBA court, a simmering feud develops as Mystics owner Sheila Johnson targets Caitlin Clark, exposing deeper divisions within the league that could endanger its existence. What's at the core of this escalating conflict?
It has taken the WNBA almost 28 years to get to the point where we are now. And this year, something clicked with the WNBA, and it's because of the draft of the players that came in. It's just not Caitlin Clark. It's Reese. We have so much.
Although Caitlin Clark's victory as Athlete of the Year was hailed as a significant achievement for women's sports, not everyone was in agreement with the acknowledgement.
And respectfully to Sheila Johnson, who is the owner of the Washington Mystics, y'all haven't been relevant in 5 years. The last time y'all were relevant was in 2019 when Elena Delle Donne was on your team and helped y'all capture your first and only championship in franchise history. You should be the first person to be congratulated.
Sheila Johnson, the owner of Mystics and a fervent supporter of women's basketball, sparked controversy when she proposed that the Athlete of the Year award should have been utilized to highlight the WNBA rather than just one player.
It is almost 2025, and the WNBA is still complaining about Caitlin Clark. A few days ago, the Washington Mystics owner, this woman right here, went on CNN and talked about, you can't just pin the league's success on Caitlin Clark. But little did she realize, 31% of her team's total attendance for the year was the 2 games that they played Caitlin.
Her actions brought to light a broader conflict regarding how women's sports are portrayed in the media and the fight for visibility.
So the Washington Mystics owner Sheila Johnson goes on CNN and says that the entire WNBA should have been put on the cover of Time magazine. It is hard to get away from this conversation because it just keeps making national news. And to be frank, I've never seen a story in the WNBA get as much widespread coverage as this is getting.
Caitlin Clark's explosive on-court performances, which combine skill, charisma, and fierce competition, have propelled her to stardom and drawn a significant following outside of collegiate basketball.
There's been no player in my time of paying attention to women's basketball that has been more polarizing than Caitlin Clark. She was named Time's 2024 Athlete of the Year, which I think is well-deserved for what she did in the college game and then bringing it to the WNBA.
A significant milestone demonstrating the rising importance of women's sports was Caitlin Clark's Athlete of the Year award. But Sheila Johnson's reaction highlighted another viewpoint, highlighting what she believes to be a structural problem: the WNBA's continued underappreciation as a whole and the league's collective accomplishments frequently being overlooked.
Our Athlete of the Year is Caitlin Clark, obviously.
Yeah,
Everyone
no
was
surprise.
talking about Caitlin Clark. I mean, sales for, to watch games, WNBA games just increased and skyrocketed because of her.
That's right.
In her declaration, Sheila Johnson made it apparent that her critique wasn't directed at Caitlin Clark specifically, but rather at the larger problem of inclusion in women's sports. This isn't just about Caitlin Clark. It's about elevating an entire league that has worked really hard to acquire recognition and respect. The WNBA's growth has been significant, but it still faces systemic challenges. Johnson's call to shift the spotlight toward the league as a whole is rooted in a desire to push for equality in media representation, pay, and sponsorship. Johnson's explanation resonated with those who feel that the league's collective contributions are often overlooked while Clark's accomplishments are undeniable. Johnson's words were a plea for the industry to prioritize collective progress rather than individual acclaim.
Said Johnson. It's just not Caitlin Clark. It's Reese. We have so much talent out there that has been unrecognized, and I don't think we can pin it on just one player. I want to be very diplomatic about this, Johnson continued. It's just the structure of the way media plays out race. I'm going to be very honest. I feel really bad because I've seen so many players of color that are equally as talented and they never got the recognition they should have. And I think that right now it is time for that to happen. So last night,
For Sheila Johnson feels that emphasizing the WNBA's collective advancement rather than individual accomplishments could change perceptions of the league, which is more than simply a basketball league, but also a representation of talent and tenacity in the continuous struggle for gender equality in sports. The movement was strengthened by the narrative, although not everyone agreed with her viewpoint. Critics contended that individual achievements, such as Caitlin, they argued that moments of individual brilliance bring much-needed attention to women's basketball, ultimately benefiting the league as a whole. For many, Clark represents the bright future of women's basketball, embodying the success and recognition that the sport has long sought. Clarks play a crucial role in inspiring the next generation and drawing new fans to the sport.
Envy. They're human. I'm not surprised that we're seeing envy, but envy, a feeling of discontented or resentful longing aroused by someone else's possessions, qualities, or luck. With Caitlin Clark, it's not at all luck. But what we're seeing, and not generalizing, not by every WNBA player, but by some.
Sheila Johnson's remarks on CNN downplaying the Caitlin Clark effect may have been meant to draw attention to the WNBA's collaborative effort, but they unintentionally brought attention to the very impact she was trying to diminish. With her captivating playing style, outstanding long-range shooting, and indisputable talent, the sensational rookie from Iowa has become a phenomenon that goes well beyond basketball. Her ability to fill arenas, as demonstrated when the Fever visited the Mystics, directly contradicts Johnson's assertion that no single player's influence drives the league's success. Clark's influence both on and off the court continues to demonstrate the power of individual stars in expanding the reach and popularity of women's sports. Her charisma has captivated fans, making her one of the most talked-about figures in sports.
Watching her play, she's incredible. She's got range that you have to pick her up basically as soon as she crosses the half-court line, because she's dangerous from everywhere. Like, you're watching shooting against her, like, Caitlin Clark's going to be in that conversation here for years. Not like that girl can flat out shoot. So,
and she doesn't, and this is taking nothing away from the way women shoot a basketball, but her form looks more like a guy, where it's more of a pull up and a follow through rather than a push. And I honestly think that's one of the reasons she's so...
Caitlin Clark's quick ascent to WNBA fame has enormous potential to increase the league's exposure and attract new fans who may not have previously followed women's basketball. The sold-out arena during the Mystics Fever matchup wasn't a one-time occurrence. Rather, it demonstrated Clark's genuine appeal and made her a vital asset for the league's future. This doesn't take away from the skill of the many other outstanding WNBA players whose commitment to advancing the sport has been invaluable rather than. The WNBA should embrace Clark's fame and use it as a vehicle for expanding the league's reach. The record-breaking attendance at the Mystics Fever game is proof that individual star power and league growth can go hand in hand, elevating the entire sport. Sheila Johnson's criticism runs the risk of alienating this new wave of supporters who are discovering the league through Clark's influence.
First of all, this is Jen Hatfield, your Washington Mystics beat reporter. The Mystics had an early tip-off today for Camp Day, which is when children from local summer camps get to attend and scream their hearts out. The Mystics drew 14,400 fans today, which is a record for any WNBA team this season, according to Across the Timeline. But without injured starters Elena Deladon, Shakira Austin, and Ariel Atkins, the Mystics suffered a somewhat disappointing loss to the Indiana Fever, and head coach Eric Thibault said post-game that the team just didn't have the right focus today coming in. But Thibault and the players alike appreciated the opportunity to perform in front of kids who are in the same position that they once were growing up watching the WN.
Sheila Johnson's rejection of the Clark effect may have been an attempt to foster unity among the league, but the packed stands at her team's arena tell a different story. In it to flourish, it must embrace the enthusiasm and energy that athletes like Caitlin Clark bring to the court. Egos and opinions frequently clash, and the spotlight can amplify tensions. This is evident in the ongoing debate sparked by Mystics owner Sheila Johnson's criticism of Caitlin Clark, a rising WNBA star, despite Clark acknowledging that the league's success is not solely her doing, highlighting the contributions of many other talented players. The league's future does not lie in ignoring star players, but rather in celebrating them as catalysts for greater recognition of the talent across the board in professional sports. Many fans feel that Johnson's denial of Clark's influence sparked a backlash. Clark's charisma and dynamic play have contributed significantly to the recent rise in the WNBA's popularity, revitalizing a league that has had difficulty gaining widespread recognition. Nevertheless, Clark has continuously highlighted the teamwork that has contributed to the league's expansion, acknowledging the tremendous. Although Johnson's comments caused controversy, Clark noted in a recent interview that her team-first mentality and the talent, hard work, and dedication of her fellow players are what make the WNBA what it is today. This highlights the ongoing tension between individual stardom and collective success in the WNBA's growth, and striking a balance between the two will elevate the league.